Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is episode 3000 of the Commander's Brew podcast. Can you believe it, Sean?
Andy, 3,000. That's a lot of podcasts.
That's a lot. We've been doing it now for, wow.
Well, let's do the math. It's the year 2073 of our weekly podcast. Mm-hmm. So we started in the 2016 or something.
Yeah, it was 20. Actually, believe it or not, it was 2015, I'm pretty sure.
2015. I mean, it's hard to remember because we're just brains in jars right now.
Yeah.
With projected faces.
That's right. You are a brain in a jar. Well, you're a head in a jar.
Well, I'm a projection onto a jar of a brain.
Oh, right.
So I'm a brain, but they're projecting an image of me from around 2021 onto the jar.
Yes, well, we have that residual self-image thing going on,
yes.
Which like everyone has in the future. Like no one is their actual age. It's just the ideal age. Like me, I actually had my head removed and put into a spider robot.
When I remember back in the day, they used to say like, "Oh, the first person who's going to live 150 years has already been born." Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it'd be like this. No. I thought it'd just be a normal body.
Yeah. I miss having hands, to be honest. My own hands with fingers and everything. Instead, I just have the legs of the spider robot that are not meant to hold things. I should have thought of that and picked a different animal robot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
hindsight, I guess.
Grateful that we play Commander digitally now.
Oh, it's all mental magic. It's all brain waves, you know. But we still love doing the podcast, and we still love that you all are out there listening and watching and consuming, actually consuming the ones for those of you who actually have to physically ingest the podcast.
Oh yeah. If you're getting this through your actual ears, or if you're getting this from an audio pill, if you swallow the audio pill and then just have the memory of this podcast, that's cool too. Mm-hmm.
If you're eating that alien bread, you're getting this image a lot when you use the bathroom, I bet, and we hope you enjoy that.
Yeah. We're very grateful that you're listening.
All the different ways.
Is it time to thank everybody, or are we still chatting?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we could just talk about what's been happening this week in our lives.
Yeah,
if you want, a little bit.
Catch up.
Yeah, let's
catch up
do
a little
some catching
bit.
up here. So how are things going with you? I mean, how's your work these days?
Oh, pretty good. Almost all of as everybody knows, I mean, we're probably all together, almost all of the energy of the earth is being used to mine Bitcoins. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's kind of what I'm spending my downtime. When I'm not conscious, I divert to Bitcoin mining mode.
Okay.
It's pretty good. At this rate, we're finding new Bitcoins so slowly, there's almost no point to doing anything.
I just recently got a promotion. Which is, thank you. Yeah, that's cool. I'm now an assistant chronologer at the Bezos Spire, and that spire's growing ever longer and larger and taller, and we're gonna get to San Quantos one day. It's gonna be great.
Wow. I mean, I hope my jar is still hydrated. By the time we get San Quantos.
when we get San Quantos, it's going to be real good. People are going to be real happy, and then people are going to be singing a different tune about the Bezos Spire. So for now, I mean, we're all kind of like, is it good? Is it bad? I mean, it's helpful, but it is just a giant spire that's reaching to another dimension, So, yes. But it's going to pay off, I feel like.
I do hope I get to see that in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, that's, work stuff, a little boring. Of course, we had our 900th pandemic just end. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got my second vaccination for COVID 2073.
Yeah. I just, thanks to the jar. Praise be to the jar heads, quite literally.
Yes.
to the jar heads, us heads and jars. It's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we can get those thanks going now.
Okay, so as usual, we want to thank everybody who's consuming the show, whether it be alien bread or actually in your ears, right? We love doing it, and we love that having you. And some of you even want to help us out by, if you have a retro link to the web 0.1, you can go to patreon.com/commandersbrew. People have donated that way. Or if you're just on the regular interneuro web, you could just think about donating. We've got a bunch of different levels starting at $1 trillion, which is,
That's the smallest. That's just for...
That's the smallest unit we're allowed to do, but thank you for that. Getting in our Discord, that's super fun. But maybe you're like, oh, I don't have $1 trillion, but if you're gonna, maybe you can like and subscribe on YouTube, or you can go to whatever podcast app you use, or your alien bread maker, leave a nice review scrawled on the concrete tile out front so that it's undetected by the jar overlords. That's another way to help out, and to always be fighting the resistance to keep humanity alive. That's another way that we all benefit from that.
Yeah, and if you have if you have ancient dollars, if you have Republic credits, if you have Ionian crems, just give. We'll take a few crems. We don't mind.
Yeah, we don't mind crems. We love crems. We're a budget podcast, so we deal with crems all the time.
We're talking in crems. Crems is our language. So.
And we have to thank, and so maybe if you're going to buy magic cards, if you still buy physical magic cards, or if you want to unlock non-fungible tokens of magic cards, you can go to our TCG player link, depending on what method you're using. Everything you buy through that helps us out. We get a little cut of that as well.
We get a few crems off of that for sure.
We get a few crems, and we get a few nanoseconds of personal time. That we are allowed a few nanoseconds of personal time. So that really helps us out.
Really helps. It's really nice to get a few personal nanos.
Yeah, I love a personal nano. What else do we got to say? Here's because it's our 3000th episode, right? So if you're listening from the Republic of New Canada, or we've got an ad from the Wizard Tower, also works if you are a resident of their Jupiter's moon Io. If you're at that location, that works too. Because it's our 3000th episode, we're going to do a throwback ad from 50 plus years ago. I don't know what set it's for, but just have fun listening to this super old ad. We're proud Canadian podcasters, and we're proud to be sponsored by one of Canada's premier card stores, the Wizards Tower, wizardtower.com. Canadian listeners get an exclusive coupon code, Brew Strixhaven, to get 5% off any order of singles shipped to you for free, as long as you've ordered $15 or more in singles. And you can check out our deck list for this week's episode and other episodes we've done on their content site, mtgcanada.com. Can I borrow a pen?
Wow. I think that one was from actually that would be from maybe 2,800 or no, 2,700 episodes ago, I think, something like that.
Okay.
And important to note that the Wizard Tower is an actual Wizard's Tower now. The intergalactic wizard Nemroy came, and of course he has been attempting to turn large parts of Asia and sort of Southeast Asia and Australia into, of course, his home planet. He's trying to impose, we all know about this, but he's trying to impose his own planet on top of the planet. It's been a bit of a problem. Some of those people not liking that, but hey, they have great Kremrons there. So, you go down to Australia, you get yourself a Kremron now. But that's all Nemroy stuff.
When's the last time you had an Australian Kremron?
The first time I had one was when there was the Spider Brain convention, and we teleported there and had a lot of them. I ate them all weekend. It was great.
Amazing.
I saved up my nanos, my personal nanos for that, and it was well worth it, I'd say. The whole Nemroy dimension is different enough. Everyone's an insect and everything, but whatever, It's just a shock. It's a bit of a shock nowadays. It's like half another whole other dimension type thing.
I mean, it is for us because we didn't grow up with other dimensions.
True.
So like
True.
it's like to Generation B, they're fine.
That's true. They love it. You know, those
The Gen Bers.
the Gen Beers are really flexible like that. You know, they're cooler. They can roll with punches like that. The trigennials are
Yeah.
they're rolling with punches. They know what they're doing. What do you say we get into this week's deck tech?
Oh, I'd love it. This is a fun one. We're brewing around Extabulon Legendary Terminator 7/7. I trust. So it wasn't that long ago. We've upgraded to our 4D cinematic viewer.
Right.
So just make sure your 4D viewer's hooked up. Otherwise, you won't be able to see any of the card images we're talking about. But it's all on your view screen or your mental neural net. It'll all be up there.
Yeah, we've been showing, of course, Extadius the whole episode. If you're getting this beamed to your brain, or if you're on the old YouTube, you should be seeing that if you have your 4D cinematic viewer. We finally got it going.
Yeah. Remember when we started, we were only doing commander decks?
Silliness.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you know, the format has grown massively. But this is a nice throwback that we're doing a proper commander deck. One commander, 40 life total, 100 card singleton. That's the format we're brewing around as kind of a throwback.
Yeah, and this is of course, like, it's hard to keep track of everything with all the different, like, the bannings and the lists. You know, we got of course, you have the old reserve list.
Yeah.
We've got the restricted list, the vault list. There's the unprintable list, the exiled list, the cursed list.
Yeah.
That kind of all goes out the window. We're not really thinking about that for this one, because you can use cursed cards in this deck. Like, it's before all that happened.
Right. And so just another reminder, in case some of you haven't played Commander in a long time, this is like, maybe you're used to 100 card Doubleton or 250 card Tripleton. I know a lot of people are playing 60 card Quadrupleton with a standard card list. This is 100 card Singleton with a commander.
Right. And it's actually strikingly similar to Cat Wizard Volcano. There's a lot of actually most of the rules are pretty much exactly the same, with obviously some key differences for Cat Wizard Volcano, but also fairly similar to Brawl. We all remember Brawl. We all played that for a number of years. Pretty different than Crawl.
Yes.
And Tussle was one that didn't really last too long, as well as Tiny Leaders.
Yeah. Then we got Scrap. We started to play Scrap. Antarctic and Lowlander was a popular one.
Yeah, that one threatened the health of Commander a lot. Like, we were all into that one.
Yeah, so next week we'll be back to our usual stuff. We'll probably do another deck for Commander, Nier, Musketeer, Promise to Repeat. But for now, we're doing a classic Commander.
That's right. I did want to mention that last week we had featured... I kind of just wanted to reach back and talk about the cards if we could, just a little bit.
Great response.
Great response. I want to thank everyone for coming out and watching that one. But this deck, we're getting back to basics. This one, we're using it from all the different IPs. Last time we were only using the current IPs that are in Magic, but we're using the ones that are from all history on this one. Yeah. Right? Lord of the Rings is up for grabs here, no problem. McDonald's. Yeah. The New York Islanders. That whole Magic set, just based around the NHL team, the New York Islanders, is up for grabs. Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Gremsworth Catheters and Medical Supplies Inc. and Lord of the Dance, all valid here.
Oh, yeah. I also put in a card from the Medicaline medical supply company.
Oh, you did?
I did.
When they had that one and Gremsworth Catheters and Medical Supplies, it was like controversial.
Well, okay, but
it's like pick a medical supplier IP, Magic, you know?
Well, personally, though, I don't know if you can get a better piece of equipment than the Medicaline toilet safety rails. Being able to cancel out the elderly on all your creatures is huge.
I mean, but then you got to admit that was pretty. It didn't really jive with. It's almost like a non-bow with the Grimsworth catheters.
Yeah, they don't play well together.
The legendary catheters were tough to deal with, because they just gave all of your cards urine.
It's a bit parasitic.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a parasitic.
The toilet safety rails are a bit parasitic because if you're like, why are you running cards with elderly in the first place?
Because I don't, and like if I have elderly and urine, that doesn't work. Like it's not. You're just constantly.
It's a nice flavor win.
It is a nice flavor win. You got to admit that does work that way, but like you're not winning. You're not winning too many games with those combos.
No.
So, we're talking about. I forgot to say that we actually. We played a game of Sit Quietly, that format.
Yes.
That was really interesting. So I think we might take some inspiration from that as well.
Yeah. I recommend it. I recommend you try some Sit Quietly.
Yeah. Okay. So, do we have anything we want to talk about when it comes to this deck?
I mean, it's sort of like I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's like a standard commander deck. We're trying to brew around the commander and help it out.
Yeah.
We all know a lot of staples and a lot of cards, so like we're not going to dwell on every rule detail of all of these cards. We're just gonna.
Here's how you build a commander deck. Okay, you pick the 62 cards that are auto includes, and then you put lands in. It's simple. Okay,
simple.
Just make sure you have trample, flying, shmrample.
Yeah.
Showmanship. Make sure you have a good helping of quiet.
Right.
And if you're going to include a color combination, I'd say look at black and Gred.
Yeah.
Which is not green and red. We all know, I mean, Gred is that color you see when you close your eyes and it looks like it's glowing.
Right. Like so if you were born in a jar, you won't know Gred because that won't be programmed into your optic cones.
That's right.
I remember Gred, but I can't see Gred now that I'm a brain in a jar.
I haven't seen Gred in 50 years.
Right. So we got some creatures with fading, some creatures with phasing, some creatures with erasing, delazing, hazing, blazing. Some of them have driving. Some of them have leaping. I wanted to make sure to include a couple characters with that can ride shotgun, which, as we all remember, rides shotgun with your commander in the shotgun zone.
We're taking advantage of all the zones here, actually. With this deck, the hair zone is being represented strongly. The under zone as well as the over zone.
Yes,
and
don't forget the pocket zone.
Yeah, you have to. If you're not rocking someone in the pocket zone, it's a problem.
Yeah, we're using the recycle zone, the exile zone, the double exile zone, and then the permanently exiled forever zone. I'm
in my kind of side version of it, I'm even using the nipple zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
an underrated zone. You know what? It's an underrated zone. Like, okay, I get it. If you've got all the money in the world and like budget's not an issue, but like don't overlook the nipple zone.
No, don't. It's useless for like half the people, but I mean, if you're in that lucky half, like you get to use the nipple zone, whenever you have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since we know what we're talking about when it comes to cards, we all know the cards that are in this deck, obviously. Let's move on to our next segment, which I think is going to be the Alien Dream List. Okay?
Yeah.
And for me, it was, for this deck, the Alien Dream List was a lot of sort of triangles, and they kind of they were all kind of shaking, like kind of vibrating in one spot, and then I looked over and there was my Aunt Peg, and she looked at me and her eyes didn't move, but the rest of her face did.
Yeah.
And then I said
A staple.
And I
A
said
staple.
yeah, and I said thank you to the aliens, and then that's in the deck.
Yeah, we're also in the alien dream. We're also running the feeling of existential dread while you're fully paralyzed, and then you watch your teeth fall out, float in front of you, and spell the name of your father, and then you become one of your parents. And then you dissolve into vibrating triangles.
And it goes without saying that then at the end of all of these, you're on a metal table and you're getting operated on, getting probed.
Yeah.
Great. Well, it sounds like now that we've. Sorry.
I have a
please.
fun surprise
Oh,
card.
okay.
I want to
Amazing.
include.
Yeah.
I think we kind of made fun of a lot of the cards from this set in a while, but I think this is the perfect deck for Dominic Toretto, Furious Advisor. I think he's perfect in this set from the Return of the Fast and the Furious.
Yes, absolutely. I like Dom. I think he's going to really jive well. Like, there's only what? I mean, we said there's 62 cards that are auto includes. The rest are lands. So that only leaves about how many cards are in Commander? Like 300? I don't remember exactly, but something like that, right?
Yeah, I think 300.
So
like
that only leaves you two in the 290s there for other cards. So I think Dominic is going to be nice.
And I don't think he needs too many of his family cards. I don't think you need too many cards with family for this deck to run.
No, you don't. And actually, one of the great things, I mentioned it earlier from the New York Rangers set, is Kyle Okposo, rookie winger. He's an excellent, it's like from, there's a couple different Okposo cards, obviously, from the New York Islanders set, but this is from when he was a rookie. And that one has Line Mate, which actually does work with family. I bet you, not a lot of people were thinking that.
Yeah. Because of the shuffle rules, the new shuffle
rules. Yeah, where you
line mate and family are functionally similar, but you have to watch out for the keywords.
I gotta say, I have a lot of trouble with the shuffling now because
it's
the spider legs. Yeah, it does make it hard. Like it's just if I could describe the end of my spider legs to you, it would just be metal that abruptly ends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind of like like the end of a crowbar.
Okay.
But without the little
hook.
The little hook thing. Yeah, I don't have the hook. It's just
that would be helpful.
Metal that just ends. So it's if I'm trying to manipulate anything physically, it does get tricky.
Yeah.
Again, good thing for the alien dream magic. I wouldn't be able to do it without that. Okay, what's next on the show notes?
Can we talk about counter spells for a second?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Like some of the staples.
Please.
Like I know that you got to run a couple of counter spells. So I'm a huge fan of Oh No You Didn't. I think that's a must include these days if you're on a budget.
Yeah.
And I like the 7-Eleven Cherry Cola Slurpee Brain Freeze. I think is an excellent counter spell.
Nice one there. Negate. Just a classic.
Negate. Can't go wrong with Negate.
Can't go wrong with Negate. We're still using Negate. It's been 1,000 or whatever. It's been 3,000 episodes and we still got Negate index.
Yeah, right.
And I love Negate. I also love Not Great.
Yeah.
The card Not Great. When someone has that feeling of when someone plays it, you're just like, not great. Here it is. See you later. Got to play that one. Is it time for the budget report now?
I guess, sure. Let's do the budget report.
Still using that old budget report video.
That's a nice throwback.
It's a good, it's a nice throwback. We never stopped, especially. So we talked about the currencies that you can purchase any Magic set at this point in now.
Yeah.
You've got the ancient dollars, current dollars, solar system credits, Republic credits, Ionian crems,
Bitcoins, Doge coins.
I mean, if you can afford a Bitcoin, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oof.
I should have bought in I thought to myself, when the Bitcoins were $6 trillion, I was like, I should get one.
Right?
But I didn't think they would keep going up after 6 trillion.
No.
But here we are.
Yeah, I also was like, do I buy the dip or do I buy the sauce? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just
Dips
never figured
up,
it out.
sauces up. We all know about Ethereum and then Selenium and Selena Gomez coin.
Oh, I love Selena Gomez coin. That one I
yeah.
did get in on pretty early. It just never really saw the same sort of rise.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard the name Gom coin and I was like, I'm not into this.
Yeah, it does sound weird. It sounds like something someone say while they're barfing, but it's Gom coin,
Yeah.
But it didn't ever really appreciate in value, and it only really got news because Selena Gomez did turn herself into a Gom coin. So, anyways, but this one is, how much is this one?
This one, so this deck is pretty cheap. The TCG player puts it at 8,490,000,000,000.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. We want to keep it under 10 trillion. That's our goal.
I think if you want to kind of look around a little bit, I think Outland Spicers would trade you a tanker to Starjuice for this.
Yeah.
I think you could, if you could make that work, if you can get your Starjuice set to them, then they'll trade you for that deck.
I mean, and so like power creep's a thing. Like you can always just toss in Baneslayer Angel, right? The most reprinted common in Magic's history. And maybe you cut the 2 green 8/8 Flample triple strike. You may draw a card at any time. Use this ability only once each turn, right? Like we've power creeped up to that. That's obviously a better card for 2 GG. Does everything Baneslayer does and way more. But, swap it out.
I think if you're in the capital, you can certainly get your hands on a Blank Lotus. And then you just write whatever you want the spell to be for 0. So
sure,
those are a little bit pricier than what we like to brew with, but I've seen them in games and they're pretty good.
Well, and then or maybe consider just like limiting how many colors you run. Maybe like swap out the commander for Pearl Shelsley, Clam Lord of Red Lobster. I think that would be a fine commander for this one.
You could do that, yeah. You could also run Pippin.
Yeah,
I think Pippin would be fine.
Yeah.
I think Pippin, but the card that actually sings, not the first one that they printed.
The
one that sings all the songs that are just it's too much. I know the singing, but the card itself quite good.
Right. We feature that card prominently in our annoying
little twerp
audio
deck. Yeah.
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 All the cards that made sounds we put in the deck.
That's right. So yeah, I mean, you could put this together. It's not impossible. Search it out.
Yeah, and if you didn't start collecting until after the return to the Rise of the Resurgence of New Lore Strixmonhaven Reforged, then you're gonna have to pay a little bit more. But if you got in before then, you're doing all right.
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of sets that actually have a lot of cards that you could search through to kind of find. You could look for Battle for Innistrad. That one's good.
Yeah,
Return to Zendikar. Very good set for this deck. Shadows over Mirrodin, also really good. Shadows over Dominaria, also.
I know we didn't go too deep, but don't forget to look through Renaissance Panoramas Part 4.
Right, that one's good.
That's the set that it skipped regular play and it went straight to Renaissance. They just injected a bunch of cards into Renaissance, so that's pretty good.
Don't forget about Return to Dominaria.
Yeah.
As well as Battle for Dominaria. Those all seem to work out. And then, of course, I'd say, you know what? It's not an often checked set, but just go look at Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
They got a lot to offer there. Good, interesting chili-based cards. They put it on spaghetti there.
Yes. Interplanar Red Lobster. Great set.
Yeah. Personally, I love going to the actual Interplanar Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
That's for me. That's just that's where I like to go to get my food tube hooked up
Oh,
and
yeah.
then put into the spider's body. Of course, I don't get any of it myself. It all goes to the spider.
No.
Did I mention that the spider is his own thing? I don't control him or anything. There's a robot spider, and my brain is just attached to it.
Yes.
My head, I should say.
Yes. We're borrowing your time for this.
Yeah, the spider.
Using nanos.
I've asked him nicely, and it's his nanos. It's his nano time.
Oh, that's about all the cards
so.
I really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no, that's it for me, for sure.
So we have to thank the people through our Discord who offer their help to produce a podcast in 2073. It takes a lot of work. And we used to just chat about decks, but now that we're in the future, our Discord helpers actually are in the world providing goods and services, doing jobs, like they're employees of the podcast. So we can alternate if you want.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
So we got to thank Chiefy, who is our FBI watcher, to keep an eye on the FBI who is watching us while we watch them.
And of course, who watches the watcher who watches the FBI watcher? It's always a question. Lolwat, of course, is working in the Minister of Truth, where he is the Minister of Truth. He really shot up in the ranks of the new government and the new world order coming in. And again, praise be.
Yeah, praise be. Thanks to Cam Turner doing great work as the Asteroid Hotel bathroom attendant. Anytime
Always a pleasure.
when we record on the asteroid.
The asteroid, yeah.
Yeah, the
one that the one that was hurtling towards Earth, but we stopped with our alien time magic. So now it's just constantly hurtling towards Earth.
Right. So if you need to go, we go to the bathroom there while we're shooting, and he's the bathroom attendant there. Thank you.
Papadillo, who is the baby barcode tattooist. I think he takes a little too much joy in that job, but it is a necessary job, as we all need our barcodes.
Yep. Thanks to Pips Don't Lie as a sewer rat. Just put his brain into a rat in the sewer, and that's a great connection for us to have to keep warning when lizard people are making an attack or something.
Here's a good one. Micah Eternity's Crafter is just the guy with a spreadsheet in a basement closet running the whole economy. He is one of the most essential people on the whole planet, as it turns out. He came up with Gome Coin.
Right. So you would think it would be Selena Gomez.
No, it was Micah, and you'd think that would be decentralized and not controlled by a guy running the whole economy, but incorrect.
Thank you to Loki Dragon 87, who is the artificial pet hard drive veterinary surgeon. Whenever our artificial pets AIs go down, the Loki Dragon fixes them back up.
Yeah, and HP Jones 10 is the space ice taste tester. Of course, we need people tasting the space ice, so thank you, HP Jones.
Thank you to Mick Fisticuff for being our personal content curator. As you know, having limited nanos, you can't go browsing around what you want to watch. You got to have someone curate it.
You must have a PCC. You simply must.
You must. Thank you, Mick Fisticuff, as our PCC.
Yeah, Knackle Booper is our meme librarian. Again, same thing. What, you think we're looking through all the memes? There's literally trillions of memes every minute, and we have Knackle Booper as our meme librarian.
Yeah, thank you to Beauregardin, who is our curator at the MTG Museum for Overly Expensive Cards, which is now all cards.
It's just all of them, yeah. Groove Chicken, Inquisitor, roaming the land, finding pre-cataclysm tech, and destroying it so nobody can bring it back. Subject of a novel they're working on. I mean, that just says it all right there. This guy is literally wandering the earth, destroying old printers.
Yep.
So thank you.
Blurry Sasquatch from Skynet Customer Service. Thank you for keeping Skynet running. And he wants us to they want us to give you the message. Have you tried turning your Terminator off and on again?
It's honestly always what's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Dylan PG, of course, gigantic.
Dylan PH. Whoops.
Oh, that's well, no, he was PH, but he went PG after the Cataclysm, as we all know.
Right.
So
I forgot. I'm sorry. I knew him as Dylan PH for a long time.
That's how we all knew him as well. But then he did go PG. He really toned it down.
Yes.
And he is, of course, now a gigantic car mechanic. He's like an Iron Giant, but he fixes cars.
Yeah. Thank you to Beppo.
Or I guess you could read that as he's just a mechanic for really huge cars.
Oh yeah, like in everyone drives gigantic cars.
Personally, I like to view it as he is now an Iron Giant sized person who fixes normal sized cars.
Yeah. That's fun. That's fun. Dylan PG. The G stands for giant.
Gigantic, yeah.
Beppo, desert mutant gang fashion designer. Whenever we team up with mutant gang dance competitions, they need fashion, and Beppo is the person.
They don't come up with that stuff themselves. Beppo does that. You better work. Jared, of course, thought police. Hey, we all know what that's about. Don't be thinking crimes. Simple as that.
Yep. Thank you to Mr. Big Bents for being a crusader, preaching the word of Adam, and has a nuke as his symbol.
Very simple. We all know what that is all about, obviously.
Yep, we all know that.
We all know what that's about. Brave Sir Robin is a mech suit designer for violent applications. Of course, we all know there's a lot of mech suit designers for sort of pacifistic applications, and he's the one who designs the guns.
Yep. Thank you to Mattisman, who's a larvae protein farmer. We got to get our larvae protein as a brain in a jar. I survive off of protein, so
my spider would not be able to move without the larvae protein. So thank you very much, Mattisman. Too much do. Okay. This is in another language, and as you know, it's my spider brain makes it hard to figure this out.
Do you want me to take this one?
Yeah.
My translator's working.
Okay.
It's Chapulines, Gusanos de Magui, and Escamoles rancher.
I think that's like another kind of larvae protein farmer, isn't it?
Yeah. But in Mexico.
Right, that's right. So thank you too much, Stu. Neo Maxis is a master matter recycler. Again, we ran out of matter ages ago now.
Yeah.
And we've been needing the matter recyclers to be doing their thing. So thank you, Neo Maxis.
Oh man, if only it was still true that E equals MC square, that energy and matter were like connected in some way. Once we proved that wrong and we ran out of matter and energy, then we had to start recycling.
Yeah, things were messed up for a few years then.
Yeah. Thank you to Slothbear55, algae farmer. Again, we gotta keeping food in the jars on the table or however.
DeBeer Buffalo is an Amazon ice and clean air delivery drone armed guard number 2. So I know him. We work together. He's in the Bezos Spire. So thanks to DeBeer Buffalo. Yeah.
Thank you to Clockwork 12, who's our internet outage grief counselor. If you lose the internet, then you'll lose a lot.
Yeah.
So you need grief counseling.
You pretty much die. So everyone needs to be connected at all times, or you do like physically, sort of technically, you actually die. And finally, Jason Belk is a garbage dump sorter. And of course, there are so many garbage dumps out there as a whole. We do need someone to sort through the different dumps. So he is a garbage dump sorter and sorting out where we're going to put the new dumps. Thank you, Jason.
And this list is good, but it's not fully comprehensive. We have other patrons out there who are working with us in more stealthy ways, and that's great too. But we want to extend the thanks to everybody. We're not going to reveal your secret identity in case the overlords are listening. But thank you to everybody.
Thanks, everyone. That's the deck for this week.
Wow. See you in another 3000.
Yeah, because actually we will be taking the equivalent of 3000 episodes off now.
Yes.
Yeah, because
and
because we do, since the Lord Shazgrim has taken over, we of course are no longer allowed. So this is actually our final podcast as well for a bit. I'm sure.
Bury the lead a little bit on this one. It's our farewell, sort of. There won't be an episode 3001.
Not for a bit, we think, right? Like
Not for a bit, but I mean, we'll still do. You'll still get like, you can go back to our archives and listen to episode 301, no problem.
Oh, absolutely. And if you, that's you know what? That's a smart move. Go back and listen next week. Go back and listen to 301. It'll be a lot of fun, and then kind of catch up to where we are now. And by the time you're back around to here, we'll be back with episode 3001.
Won't that be fun to like, just because you know what's happening in the world, like you'll know before the cataclysm happens, and that'll be fun.
You'll be able to pinpoint the episode where the cataclysm happens.
Yeah.
And note the differences before and after.
Yeah.
You'll also get, oh man, I can't believe you're going to be able to see a deck pre the alien bread method of.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be great. I haven't like I of course like listen / watch all of our shows, every episode.
Yes.
But I do it through Alien Bread. I do it on the toilet. Like, so
yeah,
wow.
like most people.
Yeah. Easily 90% people are doing the Alien Bread these days.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you'll get to see what changes happen in Commander over the next time. I mean, we still don't have a sideboard. We're still not allowed to use sideboards. But maybe, I wonder when when we get our first alternate zone besides a sideboard.
Or when they will make any rules specifically to deal with the sideboard and still explaining partner to us, because that's still been left ambiguous, and they just kind of said, it's fine.
Yeah.
Literally to this day, it's been that way.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks everyone, and we will again not be back for another 3,000 episodes. So instead, go back in time and listen to 301 and have a great time catching up from there on.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see everyone then.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCG Player affiliate link below.
That helps us out too, and for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.